We are 12. Go Hawks!
Hawkadocious episode! Pete Carroll to stay through 2021 after signing contract extension. Welcome to another We Are 12 Go Hawks, and today is a Hawkadocious special episode. This is it. Pete Carroll, contract extension, taking him through 2021 with the Seahawks, and I'm sure that I'm not the only Seahawks fan who's absolutely buzzing because of this. You know, this is fantastic news. The head coach of the Seattle Seahawks is one of the greatest coaches I have observed. I've heard speak. On, of course, YouTube videos. It just makes sense. You know, the coach who actually, who does deserve this has been rewarded, because the way he approaches coaching is the way I would like to, if I ever become a coach of any sport, that's the kind of coach I'd like to be. You know, a coach who is enthusiastic, who believes in people, who sees the players as people, not just players, not just as individuals to help me, be successful as a coach. But actually, I'm a coach, I want to help the players as people. I want to help them reach their potential, improve, and just be there for them as a person. And I think that's the kind of individual Pete Carroll is. And the fact that he's also able to make tough decisions. That's another thing. Making decisions, for example, in the drafts, going for maybe people who other coaches won't go for. For example, Russell Wilson. He wasn't necessarily the number one pick, but what a fantastic quarterback he is. One of the greatest quarterbacks in the game ever. And making choosing people like Richard Sherman at the time, and Doug Baldwin, people who are maybe not considered as the best of the best, but put them together and they can be unbelievable. And the whole Legion of Boom, the way that came about, unbelievable. Of course, that's down to other coaches, but that's also down to Pete Carroll wanting those other coaches in to work with. So that's also a great trait. And tough decisions like now, dismantling, for example, the Legion of Boom, and being okay with that, making those changes and believing that, okay, we have to move on now. The Legion of Boom was successful. It could have been even more successful, but it was successful. It's legendary, but we can still achieve something very similar. And with the current crop of players, I think he's doing that. I really do. I think, and the best thing is that I'm sure we have not seen the full potential of this group of players that we've got at the moment. And 49, Shaquem Griffin. This is another example of what makes Pete Carroll such a special coach, a special person. Not everybody, okay, I understand that Pete Carroll's not the only person who does this, but not everybody looks past what the eyes can see. Not everybody does that. Shaquem Griffin was constantly, a lot of times, pushed away because of what the eyes saw. Certain coaches, though, have that ability, have that gift, you could say, I think, to notice the player. Not the disability, but the player. And that's what I think Pete Carroll has also done here. He hasn't just taken Shaquem Griffin because he's Shaquille's twin brother. He hasn't just said, okay, well let's feel sorry for him. Let this be a good feel factor story. Maybe Shaquille Griffin will play better with Shaquem. No, it's nothing like that. Shaquem Griffin is with the Seahawks because Shaquem Griffin deserves to be at the Seahawks, because he is a fantastic ball player. He's a player He's his rookie season. We're not seeing him play many games, like in minutes wise. But he's gaining experience being around the organisation, and I really believe that he will bounce on next season, and he'll be a bigger factor for the Seahawks. And I think Pete Carroll knows that. I really do. I think, he's just, because it's also about man management. It's also about getting every individual involved. So it's of course not just about one player. It's never just about one player in a team sport. It's very rarely about one person in life anyway, in general. And that's what I think Pete Carroll understands. He understands that, and I think it's also good that there's a good general manager in John Schneider there as well. And I think that kind of link up also is very important. And I'm sure Pete Carroll notices that and knows that. And yes, you might say that, well, maybe somebody younger might be better for the Seahawks. No, that can't be the factor, because it's too much of this looking at somebody's age, looking at this, looking at that. Pete Carroll is one of the best coaches in the world, and I for one am really happy that he's been able to sign this contract extension. Hopefully it'll be even longer than that. As long as he's healthy, as long as he feels that he can contribute, then I'm all for it. I'm all for seeing Pete Carroll week in, week out with the Seahawks, just living the games. He lives the games. He's got this enthusiasm that I really, really like. One thing I do have to add about Pete Carroll and why he is such a great coach is that he gives people a chance. But what I want to stress is that he also trusts youth and inexperience and somewhat rarity. A player doesn't have to be the finished article, because he never is. He can always improve. And I think a top coach understands that. And I think Pete Carroll understands that. So yeah, that's another thing that I see that is good. So yeah, fantastic for everybody associated with Seattle Seahawks, that Pete Carroll will remain the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks for, I'm going to say it, years to come. So wow, yes. Well, this has been it. This has been the Hawkadocious special video. Pete Carroll signs the contract extension, taking him through 2021, and let's just enjoy this. Let's just enjoy being Seahawks fans, and let's just enjoy the success, because I am confident that there will be success sooner rather than later. Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!